Hello and welcome, Slayers. I'm still stuck with the PS4 Pro for now, but we will make it do. Now, with the Doom the Dark Ages revelations on aggressive approach within a mere few days at the time of this video, and with some of my friends in the community getting in onto Horde mode for Doom Eternal, I'd like to offer a helping hand by making an actual guide on how to best approach this super awesome game mode. So, who am I to speak, you might ask? Well, I don't mean to brag, but I have been the #1 Slayer consistently on PlayStation. For hurt me plenty, ultraviolence, and on most occasions, nightmare. So just trust me on this one, yeah? Let us begin. So first, depending on the difficulty that you choose, this experience can be more challenging to execute as the higher difficulties you go, obviously. But certainly, that makes a far more rewarding experience by remembering the key principles. And we will begin with Mission 1, Cultist Base. I'm going to let this play out, because Praetor suit and an icy location, fitting.
Welcome, Slayer. These challenges have been designed to break you, heretic. I've studied your tactics, your talents. Nothing but the mindless rage of a beast. You will fail, and the demons of this dark arena will devour your soul.
So as you can see, there are 3 arena rounds, 1 blitz round, and a traversal round. The purple-coded bonus rounds are achieved by completion of the blitz and traversal rounds, and we'll get to that later.
You won't escape this time. My plan has been perfected.
Now you also have access to 3 challenges that each yield 2,000 points upon completion. All 3 completed will yield you an extra 2,000 points. And you have access to all runes and support runes in a fully upgraded Praetor suit. Now, me personally, I feel that the best build is Air Control, Dazed and Confused, and Equipment Fiend with the Takeback rune, just to make sure that I have all of my extra lives intact by the end of the experience. But truly, you can play it however you see fit. That way you can get the maximum amount of points, move the fastest, and achieve the kills that you need by the end of the experience as efficiently as needed. But we begin the experience with a combat shotgun. Both mods fully upgraded, and boy does that full auto mod feel juicy and powerful. Ever since the Horde mode update, thank you or under the mail. It's perfect against prowlers, imps, and a Doom hunter. Kill all the enemies in each wave however you so see fit. It really is all up to you. Once round 2 begins and a sufficient number of demons have been killed, Diagrana will give a call out. After he makes the call out, high value targets will start entering the arena. In this case, it is 3 imps. Now each season of Horde is different. Season 1 usually has imps or gargoyles, Season 2 has carcasses and pinkies, and Season 3 has a Cyberman, shield soldiers, and or a prowler or dread knight combo. But you kill the high value targets, and whichever is the last high value target that you kill will drop the multiplier. It can either be quadruple multiplier in gold, triple multiplier in silver, or double multiplier in bronze. It all depends on how fast you kill the high value targets. Now, I have personally found that the most ideal way to utilize the multipliers is to group the demons close together, activate the multiplier, and then kill them all using your grenades, your rockets, your destroyer blade, or the arbalest for the ballista, whichever really works for you. In this particular case, you want to kill all of the demons, use the ice bomb to lock everybody in place, and then hunt down the Baron that spawns and the Cyber Mancubus, and if possible, and if they're open, kill the Bloodbreaker. It's a mad dash to acquire as many points as possible before the multiplier expires. Upon completing the arena rounds in both missions 1 and 2, you will receive one of the 7 weapons at random. Now, it can be either detrimental or advantageous to you. Just as long as you know how to utilize each weapon, it should be no problem. After completing the arena round, we now move to the blitz round. In the blitz round, you want to kill as many demons as possible before time runs out. This round includes the swinging blades, I believe affectionately called the guillotine, and they instantly kill the blitz demons. This season has Hell Knights, Season 2 has Pinkies, and Season 3 has Cacti. The guillotine is really the best way to kill all of the demons, obviously, because it is a one-hit kill, and it requires maybe only one ammo shot. But, like anything else, you can kill them however you see fit. Whether you want to use the rocket launcher if you have it, the ballista, the heavy cannon, chain gun, whichever weapons you have, including the super shotgun, of course, as well. Of course, you can stop time by glory killing, and utilize both the frag grenade and freeze bomb, or should I say ice bomb, in order to freeze the demons onto the tracks. That way you can activate the swinging blades. Upon completion of the blitz round, the pro strategy is to gather all the resources necessary to proceed to the next round. Whether that's armor, health, or ammo, they all regenerate, so go ahead and get everything you need maxed out. The very first bonus round that we have is the coin round. Now, the coins themselves have a value of 200 in gold, 150 in silver, and 100 in bronze. All the while, you're being chased around by a cursed prowler. Now, you can kill the cursed prowler and it will respawn multiple cursed prowlers, up to 4 cursed prowlers in this arena. My personal pro strat is to collect all 19 coins while they are still gold, and then hunt after all 4 of the cursed prowlers before the coin's value goes from silver to bronze. This maximizes the potential point gain of collecting the coins and killing some of the demons in these arenas. It is quite a risky maneuver though, especially on Nightmare where the cursed prowlers deal the most amount of damage and are arguably the biggest pain to deal with, especially when you have decreased mobility. The same principles that apply in the first arena, round 1, apply to rounds 3 and 5 for each combat arena of killing every demon and then using the multipliers intelligently. But round 5 is where things get quite interesting. And of course, after every single combat encounter, you definitely want to maximize your resources, whether it's gas canisters, health, ammo, armor, whichever it may be. And remember, the weapon distribution is at random, so I just so happen to get the super shotgun here. The traversal rounds in the missions are also fairly simple. Utilize your mobility to the fullest. Use the jump pads, use the monkey bars, and the walls that you can climb on, collect the coins, dash across, and make your way to the exit. Don't forget to grab the extra lives as well. Those are valuable, especially on the higher difficulties. The bonus blitz round for each mission gives 2 respawning quad damage power-ups and usually heavy or super heavy demons to kill. Now you have cue balls and plenty of ammo and health around the arena, as well as armor, to make sure that you are not only replenished in your base resources, but also if you need a blood punch, they are definitely helpful to provide some if you have max health or armor. Now, of course, your weapon selection can vary, whether you have the super shotgun, the precision bolt, the heat blast on the plasma rifle. All you need to focus on is outputting as much damage as possible. And remember, the cue balls, especially with the quad damage multiplier, can insta-kill most demons, just like the cyber monkey bar. Now, the pro strat, if you have the Ballista, use the Destroyer Blade to cleave through all the Mancubi or the Arachnotrons or Pinkies, whichever season you're on. If you have the Rocket Launcher, remote detonation is your friend. But of course, the trusty workhorse that is the Combat Shotgun is mostly ideal, whether it's the whether it's the full auto or the sticky bombs. So utilize all your tools to their absolute fullest. After all, the best slayers are rewarded for total mastery. But just like previous rounds, the ammo, the armor, and the health all regenerate, so take all of the resources that you need and proceed to the final round. At long last, round 5 of each mission is where things get really interesting. With one additional wave that yields another multiplier, you can stack these multipliers for a massive point gain. So instead of just a quadruple multiplier, you can actually combine 2 quadruple multipliers for 16 times multipliers. Now, of course, you can do it if you have 2 silver multipliers and 2 bronze multipliers. That leaves for 3x3, which is 9, and a 2x2, which is 4. Now, of note, if you do not have the plasma rifle by now, then do not panic when you see or encounter a spirit-possessed demon. All you must do is kill all the surrounding demons, and the spirit will fade away and die. Now, for Season 1, you have either Stone Imps or Riot Soldiers. Now, because Riot Soldiers' shields are indestructible, and if you do not have the Rocket Launcher, do not panic. You still have the Combat Shotgun and therefore the Sticky Bombs. One well-placed Sticky Bomb will put the Riot Soldiers in a stagger state for glory kills, and all you must do is kill them before the time runs out. The third wave here introduces 2 tyrants, so don't panic. Enough damage to one of the 2 tyrants will trigger the high-value targets, and in this particular case, it'll be Cyber Mancubi. Be sure to have a Blood Punch handy, and depending on where they are positioned, kill the last of the 2 targets closest to your first multiplier, just so you can make it easy to grab both of them once you choose to use them. As I said, don't panic if you don't have the plasma rifle, because a possessed Mancubus will spawn alongside Prowlers and Whiplashes. Kill them all as you would kill any other wave of demons, just be cautious. A possessed Whiplash is a menace, and a cursed Prowler just as much. Now, I ideally save both of the multipliers for just this moment. After 2 Cacodemons spawn, and I make sure that I kill one of them that spawns the 3rd Cacodemon, which can come off as a surprise, and a horde of Pinkies that arrive as well. You corral them to you, freeze them with the Ice Bomb, retrieve both of the multipliers, and obliterate the demons. After you've killed enough of the Pinkies and the Cacodemons, as well as the Imps, 2 Pain Elementals will spawn in the air and an Archvile in the lower levels of the arena, so make sure that you are quick to destroy them however you can. Whether you get the Super Shotgun, the Rocket Launcher, the Precision Bolt for the Heavy Cannon, however you can, use all of your tools. At long last, once all of the demons are finally slain in the arena, you are rewarded with another weapon to add to your arsenal. Just remember, they are random, so whichever weapon that you end up with is the weapon that you will take into the next mission. And that concludes the Cultist base. At the end of each mission, you are shown the progress that you've made, how many points you've garnered in total for each element, whether it's the Blitz Hunts, the Bounty Demons, or the Onslaught bonuses. And you carry all of these points with you to Mission 2. Mission 2 is Reclaimed Earth Straight from the Ancient Gods Part 2. My personal favorite level from DOOM Eternal, by the way. But it is here where Horde Mode gives you the BFG 9000, just in case you need it. There's no shame in using it if you find yourself surrounded or you're in a panic, but just know that it is worth 50,000 points to go the entire run without so much as touching the BFG 9000. In this arena round, and especially in this first wave, you will be introduced to a Dread Knight, a Pain Elemental, and most notably, an Armored Baron. Remember that the easiest way to kill an Armored Baron is to destroy the Morningstar once it flashes green. If you do not have the Precision Bolt or the Ballista, you can utilize the Sticky Bombs on the Combat Shotgun. But this is a relatively easy round for most Slayers to handle. Now, of particular note, which is on wave 3 of the first round, you will be introduced to the Bloodmaker and a Marauder. But do not panic. Whatever weapons that you may have, if you don't have the rocket launcher, or the ballista, or even the heavy cannon, using the combat shotgun and the chain gun, if that is what you have, or combat shotgun and plasma rifle, you can still chip at the Marauder's health until he dies. If you do have the ballista, however, then I have found that you can kill the Marauder quite easily with just a few well-placed arbalest shots. But of course, fight the Marauder as you normally would fight the Marauder until he finally dies. After the Marauder after the Marauder dies, I should say, the next wave of demons that spawn in usually are comprised of carcasses and cybermanculi. Kill enough demons and 2 Barons of Hell will spawn as well. I have found that the best method to deal with all of these demons is to, yet again, corral them all into a single solid group. Upon doing so, you have the options of either blood punches, rocket detonations, grenades, sticky bombs, whichever works best in your favor. But if you have the ballista at your disposal, of course, the Destroyer Blade is a go-to. If you kill enough of the demons, you will also trigger the spawning of a Cyber Demon. Don't be like me if you can't kill it in time. But if you can kill it in time, that's a massive point bonus. So, do everything you can as fast as possible. Remember, speed is your advantage over all things. So now we have the next weapon that we get to add to our roster. Now, the Blitz rounds this time around are a little spicier. On Reclaimed Earth especially, they are not your typical Blitz rounds where you simply just start killing demons with swinging blades and attacks. Instead, the game decides to throw a complete curveball to you. In Season 1, there are Prowlers. In Season 2, there will be Maker Drones. And in Season 3, there will be Hell Knights. But the one thing that remains the same is that there are Screechers. And killing Screechers is a dangerous proposition, so you want to make sure that you avoid them at all costs. Now, you may have a stray bullet or a stray rocket or grenade or whatever may have you that triggers one of the Screechers to die, and therefore buff all the demons around you. To avoid this, you simply need better aim. Of course, you can isolate the Prowlers, the Maker Drones, or the Hell Knights, whichever season you're on, and utilize your frag grenades, use the Ice Bomb, use Blood Punch, whichever suits you best. Just make sure that you kill as many as possible before time runs out. And of course, just like the coins in other rounds, their value also depreciates. So at the beginning, they are a gold. Then they go to silver. Then they go to bronze. Meaning that each heavy demon, when they are at gold, will yield 400 points each. At silver, they will yield 300 points, and at bronze, they will yield 200 points. Similarly to the original bonus coin room of Cultist Base, on Reclaimed Earth, instead of it being Cursed Prowlers, you are being thwarted by Carcasses. Now they can summon energy shields to block your path, so be wary of that. But the same strategy that I usually implement still applies. Collect all except one of the coins, leaving just one on the board to kill all of the surrounding demons. Now, I haven't mentioned this yet, but Unfortunately, the multipliers don't apply on these demons the way that they do in the Blitz rounds. But even then, it's usually a, 50-point difference to kill them all and leave just one silver coin if you're fast enough, of course. But thankfully, that's only the smallest possible difference. So round 3, or the second arena round of Reclaimed Earth, plays out normally the same as that of Cultist Space, and honestly, even the holds. What's different here, however, is the fact that in this case, you have an Archvile and a Bloodmaker that spawns together. Once you kill the Archvile, then spawns in some Hell Knights, Prowlers, and Shield Soldiers. You definitely want to be on your guard, and if you have the Ballista, Destroyer Blade is the way to go. And if not, Remote Detonation for the Rocket Launcher is the way to go. And if not that, then the Energy Shield from the Chain Gun is the way to go. So many options at this point. Here's where things get interesting. 2 Doom Hunters spawn, one on the top levels and one beneath. And the strategy here is simple. Get both of the Doom Hunters off of their sleds, corral one of them with other demons to the nearest multiplier, ice bomb them, and then finally use the multiplier. However you need to, whether it's with AoE or just straight quick swapping. An important element here is that once you kill one of the Doom Hunters, a Bloodmaker and a Baron of Hell will spawn immediately after. So the key strategy here is to kill as many demons as you can with the multiplier once you get it, and then quickly run to chase down the remaining super heavy demons, and if you can, kill the Bloodmaker along with them. Some Prowlers will be left over to clean up the mess. Kill those as well. If you have the multiplier still active, then use it. Another wonderful detail in this particular mission is that no later than by this round, you are guaranteed to get the Super Shotgun, as the Super Shotgun is mandatory if you are to complete the next traversal puzzle. This time, you are finally able to traverse with the mid-hook grappling points of the Ancient Gods Part 2. Utilize those grappling points to collect all the coins, set off the air pads, use the monkey bars, and swing your way across to the next portal. Again, do not forget those extra lives, they are important. As far as the bonus blitz goes, this one usually has Barons, Hell Knights, and Dread Knights. And if you have the Ballista at this point, then the Destroyer Blade is instrumental for making quick work of all of the above. Another critical detail when it comes to super heavy demons is that they yield 200 points at base level. So obviously if they are gold and have a quadruple multiplier on them, you are getting 800 points. At silver, you're getting 600 points, and at bronze, you're getting 400 points. So it is quite nifty to know your values every time you kill a super heavy demon. And of course, with the quad damage, that makes killing heavy demons all the easier. At last, we make our way to round 5, the third arena round. This time with a wonderful addition, the best tool in the mode, the Sentinel Hammer. Unlike the Ancient Gods Part 2, however, instead of 2 charges, this hammer requires 4. As a wise man once said, you're now working towards the hammer instead of always having it on you. Which is a nice, simple change and a much needed one, for as overpowered as this wonderful weapon is. And how fitting that the first weapons that we have access to are Revenants, which make breaking weak points and charging the hammer very ideal. If you want to use the hammer just for shits and giggles, as I do, then go ahead and take a swing and then break all of their turrets. Jumping to wave 3, however, a spirit-possessed Doom Hunter will spawn in, and this can make for a very complicated encounter. Luckily though, there are not 1, not 2, but eventually 3 Cacodemons that you can use to refill your Blood Punch gear. Just shoot a Sticky Bomb into their mouths, and you'll be able to recharge your Blood Punch. Now, the strategy that I've used to destroy a spirit-possessed Doom Hunter is as follows. If I have the Chain Gun, I can use the Energy Shield to bash into its sled and use the Blood Punch to weaken and destroy the sled and have the Doom Hunter vulnerable to a volley of rockets and the microwave beam. If you don't have the chain gun, however, fret not, you can still utilize the blood punch. It'll just be a lot more risky. Now, to kill, or I should say glory kill, pinkies, I usually just shoot sticky bombs close to them, just close enough to not insta-kill them, and also not necessarily right behind them to utterly obliterate their fleshy rears. Also, make sure that you are not using the blood punch around the pinkies, as a blood punch, a single blood punch, can instantly kill a pinky. So you have to do 3 different glory kills on these pinkies in order to achieve the challenge. Once you do that, you're all set. Now, full transparency, Wave 4 is where I usually mess up the most. Wave 4 has 2 armor barons, several carcasses, and several prowlers alongside imps. So the strategy here is to neutralize one of the armored barons' armor, damage it just enough to summon the cursed prowler, and then kill the cursed prowler. This removes the cursed prowler from being a threat once it's finally time to use the multipliers. Once the cursed prowler has been dealt with, then it is on to the next phase of this system. And that system goes as follows. Weaken both of the armored barons' armor until they are glistening red hot. Don't destroy the armor. Make sure that it's just intact so that once it's finally time to utilize the multipliers, wherever they are in the arena, you are able to access both of them. Once you break the armored barons' armor, you can use the ice bomb on both of them, as many carcasses, as many prowlers, and as many imps as there are in close proximity. And then, and only then, is it most ideal to activate both of the multipliers. This results in usually the best possible point gain. Now, if you have a better strategy, I am all ears for whatever that may be. But as far as I can tell you, this is the strategy that has worked for me best, because what ends up happening is we switch to the multipliers, we kill as many demons as there are in the vicinity, using as many AoE attacks like the blood punch and the rocket launcher, the grenades, whatever we have access to. And then finally, that is when a spirit-possessed pain elemental and a marauder show up. An additional bloodmaker, some prowlers, and some hell knights may give you trouble, but make sure that you keep the focus on specifically the marauder, because that is the biggest threat in the entire arena. If you can get yourself a sentinel hammer charge, utilize it. There will be revenants that can also charge your hammer should you need it. And to kill a spirit-possessed pain elemental, of course, the rocket launcher and the microwave beam is usually the best combo, but of course the chain gun also is a very useful and effective tool, especially the energy shield. If you need a replenishment for your ammo, of course, quick scope or simply headshot the bloodmaker, and you will be topped off in all your ammo. Finally, after killing all of the demons in the arena, you are rewarded with the final weapon to complete the kit. And now, the final mission awaits, the Hold. It could have been a weapon that you needed a few rounds earlier, but now, better late than never, your arsenal is complete. At last, the Hold. Now brace yourselves, because this is no walk in the park. No matter which difficulty you're on, this one demands absolute mastery of the experience. And we start in the forest. So what makes the Hold the most dangerous mission, outside of just being the final mission of the Horde Mode experience, is the fact that some of the high value targets that you're going to be going up against are all the most dangerous super heavy and heavy demons alike. In this particular instance, we have the high value targets this time around being either the Marauder or two Pain Elementals, and they can be quite lengthy to kill, especially the Pain Elementals. They are the bullet sponges of the super heavy demons, second only to that of the Cyberman combined. But two well-shot Arbalest shots should put one of them into a glory kill state, but make sure that they are dead before the time runs out, so you have the golden quadruple multiplier. An Archvile will spawn after you kill the high value targets, as well as a Bloodmaker. So do make sure that you are on your headshot game with the Precision Bolt or the Ballista. And as for the Archviles, one of the challenges is to give it the left side glory kill. I believe that is an achievement from Necroval, one of the challenges in Necroval. So if you can do it there, you can do it here. Here's where things really amp up, however. In the final bonus wave of this particular round, you have 3 waves of buff totems. Wave 1 involves Pinkies. Wave 2 will involve Mancubi, and the final wave will involve Dread Knights and Whiplashes, among other demons. My recommendation, leave 1 Pinky on the board for this wave, kill 2 of the Mancubi on the second wave, and on the third wave, as you'll see, utilize the Sentinel Hammer. The most ideal way that I have found to corral them is by utilizing the Chain Gun's energy shield and then using the Sentinel Hammer to kill all of them at once. The footage didn't show you that because the PS4's recording system is quite odd. It is not nearly as good as the PS5's, which is why I'm so excited to finally get mine come in a few days. But yes, the Sentinel Hammer, especially when you have the quad damage multiplier activated, deals a massive amount of damage, as you might have seen from the Reclaimed Earth demonstration. But yes, once you've cleaned up all the heavy demons left in the area, we'll finally move on to the Blitz round. This particular Blitz round, we have the Sentinel Hammer in full effect against the Stone Imps that respawn. There are 4 platforms in which the Stone Imps respawn in hordes of 3, so using the Sentinel Hammer to kill all 3 of them at the same time is most ideal. Use the jump pads, your dash, and the dash refills to quickly navigate along to get to the meat hook points and use the Sentinel Hammer over and over again. Now, I fully confess, there are plenty of times where I will utilize the Sentinel Hammer, completely miss the mark, and fall into the void and respawn. I've done that way too many times in my day, and as you're about to see, it is... there is no worse feeling. But quickly bounce back, recover, and make sure that you constantly are swinging that hammer to maximize your point game. There are people who will refuse to use the hammer for whichever reasons that they may have. Fair enough. But the most ideal strategy for maximum point gain is, of course, to be utilizing the Sentinel Hammer. The bonus blitz of the Holt is a coin room. A coin room that is actually taking place in the Sandal boss fight area. A Bloodmaker is there to occupy you while you run to grab the coins, and the middle sections of the towers above have tentacles in them. So you definitely want to kill the tentacles as quickly as you can. As for the Bloodmaker, you of course can kill it, but it'll require that you are ready for the second Bloodmaker that spawns in shortly afterwards. Now, just like Cultist Base and Reclaimed Earth, the third round, the second arena of the Holt, plays out relatively the same in that you must simply kill the demons and relinquish the highest possible quad damage multiplier from the high value targets. Those high value targets this time around can be Dread Knights in 3 or 3 Whiplashes, even 3 Arachnotrons. But the goal remains the same. Make sure that you position the quad damage multiplier in the most ideal spot. That way, when it's time to use it, you can corral the most amount of demons and use the multiplier to kill as many as possible. Because in this arena, which by the way is, if you haven't noticed yet, is actually the Slayer Gate arena from the base game. That's right, a little tip of the hat, if you will, to the one and only Prote. But before you go into the final wave, you best max out all of your health, your armor, and your ammo, because this one is a doozy. You have Dread Knights, Mancubi, to which I personally remove as many of their cannons as possible, and a Doom Hunter. The first thing I would do is get rid of the Doom Hunter's sled, because a Bloodmaker and a Spirit-possessed Tyrant is there to destroy you. If possible, bait the Bloodmaker into unleashing a ranged attack, snipe it if you have accuracy far better than my own, which all of you do, absolutely. And then, for the Spirit-possessed Tyrant, the usual strat is to wear it down. Use as many rocket volleys from the lock-on burst against the Spirit-possessed Tyrant, and then lure it and the enemies that spawn in afterwards close as possible to the multiplier. Those demons usually come as Arachnotrons and Pain Elementals. Replenish your ammo, your armor, your health, whatever it may be. Ice Bomb, and use the Sentinel Hammer to destroy as many of the demons as humanly possible. And don't forget to flame burst the demons while you're at it as well. Hunt down all of the most valuable demons, especially the Doom Hunter, because it is the easiest to get away. If you can, use the microwave beam while you still have the quad damage multiplier active, because it'll not only kill the spirit far faster than if you don't have it on, but it also will cause even more damage to the surrounding demons. Don't worry if you can't kill one of the spirits or if one of the spirits escapes you. You have all your tools necessary, including the chain gun shield if desired, to deal with and contend with a spirit-possessed Arachnotron, Hell Knight, Soldier, Imp, whatever the case may be. At long last, after the completion of the arena round, it is time for one final traversal puzzle. This one will demand your mastery of the Super Shotgun's meat hook, but also of your ability to space your jumps and dash. Rather than quickly and immediately double dash, you want to space your double jump and your dash is in between. That way, you don't fall into the pit and have to restart the entire traversal section all over. Because once you reach the end, you are met with the most intense bonus blitz round of them all. This one features tyrants that spawn in threes, so you most definitely want to utilize your strongest weapons. The rocket launcher, the super shotgun, and the ballista are the most powerful of the direct weapons in the game, so it is most ideal to maximize your damage output by using at least 2 of these options. If you do not wish to use the guns, then the Blood Punch and the Sentinel Hammer is the most ideal alternative. That and the frag grenades. Ice Bomb is also a most critical tool in order to freeze and lock down the enemies. It is also worth noting that the Destroyer Blade will also instantly stagger the Cyber Demons if you have the quad damage multiplier active. So you can capitalize off of that to either glory kill them for some extra health or for a blood punch recharge. Or if you are just looking to kill them as quickly as possible, then as long as they're in stagger state, that can be made easy. Also of critical note is to take advantage of the respawning ammo pickups that are scattered throughout the arena. That way you're not running out of ammo and can't shoot any of the demons. That kind of defeats the whole purpose now, doesn't it? But yes, in the Blitz rounds, they usually respawn, so if you're running low on plasma energy for your ballista or your plasma rifle, then you go to replenish as often as possible. And that goes for all the guns, whether buckshots, rockets, bullets, all of the above applies. I'm skipping past the first wave of the final arena encounter only because it plays around more the same as any other arena round, but it is wave 2 where things get very interesting, with the inclusion of Screecher zombies. Be careful with these. Setting one off can absolutely destroy you if you're on the higher difficulties, especially because there are carcasses, revenants, mancubi, and cacodemons. Kill them quickly with more precise weapons, like the super shotgun, the ballista, or the precision bolt. Or if you want to use the destroyer blade, make sure that you are far away from any screechers to set off. In addition to that, though, are the high value targets, usually super heavy demons by this round. In this case, it is 2 Barons of Hell. Now you can either utilize the quick switch techniques with the super shotgun and the ballista, or if you want to go raw DPS, the lock-on burst for the rocket launcher, and maybe 2 taps of the super shotgun is more than sufficient enough to kill a Baron. But it's when the spirit-possessed Marauder comes out to play that becomes a real problem. The spirit-possessed Marauder is still affected by the Sentinel Hammer, so if you have a Sentinel Hammer charge, it's most ideal to use it against this fiend. Be quick though. 2 lock-on bursts, and usually it is snapped out of its stunned state. And if you don't have zombies in the vicinity, wait for them to spawn so that way you can use them. Use every possible advantage that you can, whether it be space, zombies, or the energy shield on the chain gun. Otherwise, you're stuck fighting an enemy that cannot be faltered. However ways you have to kill a spirit-possessed Marauder, by all means, utilize it. Because these are very dangerous on Nightmare and even Ultraviolence. I can attest to that. And don't be alarmed or frustrated if the hit registration doesn't click with an adequate super shotgun blast. This tends to happen with the spirit-possessed enemies. But do kill the spirit quickly before it goes into the Baron or to any other foes with insanely high health pools and damage output. Wave 3 kicks off with an immense number of Maker drones, a Blood Maker, and 2, count them 2, Doom Hunters. It would be most ideal to give all of the Maker enemies headshots to receive their ammo or health if they are Maker drones, and kill the Doom Hunters to trigger the high value targets that spawn in the arena. And among those spawns will be 4 armored mancubi scattered across the arena. The most ideal way to kill a cyber mancubus is actually 1 super shotgun blast, 1 blood punch to put it into glory kill state, and replenish that blood punch by glory killing the cyber. If not any of those options, the chain gun's energy shield is also ideal, as if you dash into enemies, it deals a massive amount of damage. You can also utilize this opportunity to glory kill the Archvile that spawns in with the high value targets from the left side, accomplishing one of the challenges and getting yourself a free 2,000 credits. Now, the typical strategy that I have used and it's worked to my benefit, more often than not, there are 2 Arachnotrons and 2 Hell Knights that spawn after killing the Archvile. After killing at least 2 of those demons, and a few Gargoyles that spawn in the battlefield as well, 2 Cyber Mancubi and 2 Barons of Hell will spawn in afterwards. The most ideal method for maximum point gain in this regard is, of course, corral them into the same space, use the energy shield from the chain gun to make sure that you are taking no damage as they are throwing things at you, and then, when the time is right, drop the hammer. Kill all the demons however you see fit, usually using the super shotgun and the ballista to maximize your combos. And as long as you're fast, you can also kill the spawning cyber demons that come in as well. But kill enough demons, and you'll be sure that a buff totem will spawn in the lower area surrounded by 3 tentacles. Destroy the buff totem, and then kill everything else. Numerous pain elementals will spawn during this time, after you kill the first pain elemental and then the cyber demon. When this happens, it would be ideal to capitalize off of all the spawning pain elementals and glory kill them so that you can accomplish one of the challenges as you go. And now, ladies and gentlemen, sound the fireworks, for it is the climactic finale, the final round of the experience. With stone imps, pain elementals, and arachnotrons spawning in, kill enough of the arachnotrons, and there will be a buff totem that spawns. But this one is surrounded by 4 turrets. Now, you must destroy all 4 of the turrets in order to expose the buff totem. And the fastest and most efficient way to do so is actually with the Destroyer Blade, as you will see. Light work. Destroy the buff totem, and shortly after the buff totem spawns are 2 marauders. This time around, you have the Sentinel Hammer to contend with any and all of the marauders. So if you want to use the Sentinel Hammer on one of them, you absolutely can. And as you will see, if you are given the open shot with both of them, you can also utilize the Sentinel Hammer and stun both of them. Something that is honestly quite difficult to do. However, this is where points are no longer the issue. It is simply a matter of survival and making sure that you have all of your extra lives intact by the end of the experience. By now, you might have accomplished all of the challenges, whether it was the glory kill on the Archvile, the headshots on the Maker Drones, or glory kills on the Pain Elementals. Either way, once you have finished with the dual Marauders, now you must contend with dual Spirit-possessed Barons of Hell. The most effective way to deal with them is several rocket volleys from the lock-on burst mod of the rocket launcher. Make sure that you have your ammo resupplied and stocked at all times, because contending with these beasts is no easy task, especially for your plasma rifle, as that is the most ideal way to contend with the spirit-possessed enemies, and of course the only way to kill a spirit at all. But following the death of one of the spirit-possessed barons, an armored baron, mancubi, cacodemons, and other demons will start spawning in to take their place and challenge you. Once they are slain, a small little parlay of imps and soldiers will spawn in, giving you the opportunity to replenish your ammo, your health, your armor, and whatever you may need for the very final moments of the experience. And that moment will begin with the emergence of not just 3 Archviles, but a Cursed Prowler as well. Fortunately, none of the demons that the Archvile summons actually holds any point value, so simply kill them as you would kill any other demons. But the Archviles themselves, upon killing all 3 of them, Screecher zombies will begin to spawn throughout the arena. So you better watch out. Be careful with your ice bombs, with your frag grenades, with your rockets, your blood punches, every AoE weapon that you have. Just be cautious. But with that is the conclusion of the Horde Mode experience. A massive all-out brawl that allows you to go ham in every way you see fit.
What does it take to kill you? Curse you! You haven't won. You've merely prolonged your demise.
And that, my friends, is Horde Mode. And by the end of the experience, all of your totals will be added up. Blitz bonuses, quad damage multipliers, coins, extra lives, which there are a total of 38 in Horde Mode, the difficulty bonus, depending on which one, and of course, no BFGs. Now, it's not my personal best run for any difficulty, but for what it is worth, this was very fun. Now, just a moment to prove my credibility here. At the time of recording this footage, in the previous season in June, I had racked up 340,000 points as number 1 in Hurt Me Plenty. I hadn't yet played Nightmare at the time of recording the footage, but when I did, I was at 354,000 points. So just underneath our number 1 here. So congrats to him. But I do hope that this guide was informative to you and gave you some solid pointers as you go on to play this incredibly fun, wonderfully nuanced mode in Doom Eternal. So with that being said, Slayers, thank you so much for watching. Do enjoy, and rip and tear until it is done. Take care.